Let us go ahead and welcome our special guest, Attorney Levy. Please go ahead and introduce yourself.
I am.
Hi, can you hear me? Yes?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah,
very good. Yes, I've been working, as you know, some of you have been working with Biafra for a long time. Today, I'm here in the capacity of a representative of the Organization of Emerging African States. That's the organization, international governmental organization that Biafra is a founding member of in 2011. And the Organization of Emerging African States is highly concerned about the continued detention of the Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa. And we have therefore had a board meeting and we've done an investigation of his detention as well as the detention of Biafra's best ally, Ayaba Cho Lucas of Amazonia, who is also detained on similar charges in Norway. And we've looked into this, and the Organization of Emerging African States has come to some conclusions, and we're issuing a public declaration today regarding your Prime Minister, as well as Ayaba Lucas Cho. There's these two cases are linked. As you know, Prime Minister Ekpa was taken into custody by the Finland authorities, and he remains there under investigation. What you may not know is the conditions of his detention are very harsh. Solitary confinement. His access to the outside world is limited. So we know this because we have debriefed 3 of the other 4 detainees who have since been released. There's very serious concerns on the part of OES about how they were treated. So this was done, and we believe the conditions that Cho are imprisoned under in Norway are quite similar. In Norway and Finland, of course, they could imprison people, detain people, they call it, on remand, almost indefinitely while they continue to investigate the allegations. The main concern, besides the conditions of the OAS, which we are very distressed about, the main concern is how these allegations against Cho and Ekpa came about, and who was behind these allegations. Was it the government of Finland and Norway? No, they are complicit in this, but we know that in August, a delegation of Nordic ministers, including the foreign minister of Finland, went to Abuja, where they met with representatives of Nigerian government and ECOWAS. And at that time, it was noted that in the Nigerian press, the foreign minister of Finland was quoted as saying that she would soon have Simon Ekpa arrested. Now, at the time, the prime minister was aware of that, and we just kind of wrote that off. Simon Ekpa, he's an EU citizen. This cannot happen. This is just the Nigerian press. But what was that meeting about of the Nordic ministers and the Nigerians in ECOWAS? Well, it had to do with political and economic favors that were being exchanged. And shortly thereafter, of course, Lucas Ayaba Cho was arrested in Norway in August. And again, we thought, well, maybe that's just a coincidence. But now we see Simon Ekpa arrested in November of this year on similar charges. So it's clear that this is a quid pro quo situation. It has the appearance here, the OAS, that Norway and Finland were promised favors by the Nigerian and Cameroonian governments. And in exchange for those favors, they were to deliver up or at least take out of circulation, neutralize Simon Ekpa and Ayaba Lucas Cho. So And that is indeed what happened. And that is indeed the appearance here. And I might point out, both ECBA and Cho are EU citizens of Finland and Germany. That did not matter. They are sitting there in solitary confinement right now, facing charges. Now, what are the charges? Well, very similar. In the case of Cho in Norway, it is something to do with instigating crimes against humanity using the internet or some nonsense like that. And in the case of the prime minister, similar charges, except they're throwing the word terrorism about, that they're investigating. Somehow he's involved with terrorism. They don't even, specify what the terrorist organization is or what's going on with that. So the allegations are coming directly from the oppressors, from Cameroon and Nigeria. And both Cameroon and Nigeria are well-known human rights abusers. Of course, I don't need to tell you as Biafrans what has happened in Biafra and Nigeria as a whole in the last 20 years. I don't need to tell you what's going on in neighboring Ambazonia for the last 5 years or more. How many people have been killed? How many people are killed each year in Nigeria? This is a fact. Yet, Finland and Norway are taking the allegations from these two countries that are the human rights abusers. So we have a lot of concern about the source of the allegations, because if there are human rights abuses, it is the direct fault of Nigeria. It's the direct fault of Cameroon. If people are defending themselves after years of being subjugated to this, that is the fault of the oppressing governments. That's not a crime. So we have a concern. And of course, it's not like Norway and Finland don't know the circumstances. As you know, there was a large report issued a few months ago about the deaths of Christians in Nigeria over the last few years. But yet they're taking the information from the Nigerian government. And we see General Musa making the head of the Nigerian armed forces, making public pronouncements just in the last few weeks that he will neutralize Simon Ekpa. Governors in Nigeria saying the same thing, making new allegations against Simon Ekpa. And we see their mouthpieces in the Nigerian press and the provocateurs that are part of the security system making the same allegations. So OES is very concerned that the governments of Norway and Finland are conducting an investigation based on information that is solely provided by human rights abusers. The people who are responsible for the crimes are the ones who are accusing Simon Ekpa of the crime. So we're concerned about that, and we're coming forward with our declaration, which is in the hands of the DPM, and which we will be distributed worldwide in the next few days. We also are suggesting that if Finland and Norway are really doing an investigation of what is going on in Cameroon and Nigeria and Ambazonia and Biafra, that when they do actually discover war crimes, genocide, and crimes against humanity, which we know have happened, but those crimes are being committed by the agents and armed forces of Cameroon and Nigeria. And therefore, we're telling Norway and Finland that they need to refer the matter of the crimes being committed by Nigeria and Cameroon to the International Criminal Court, which has the appropriate level of expertise to evaluate these crimes. So this is what's being done on the international level. And again, the victims of this are holding themselves up. We've talked to some of the people, the detainees who've been released, and they've comported themselves in a heroic manner. So I want you to know Biafra is not standing alone. It has friends on the international level, and we will be distributing this worldwide and calling out the governments of Nigeria and Cameroon, who are the ones who have instigated the arrest of Simon Ekpa and Lucas Ayabacho.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Attorney Levy, for that summary of what is going on. and some clarifications are needed, and we think very happy it's going to be taken from the level of the OES to let the world know what is going on. And dear friends, are very happy for your help and what you do. Again, this injustice, we have to call it out and give it the name that it is. Again, thank you. Let me start by, again, thanking and welcoming all dear friends that are here. And first, I would like to let the world know that our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, is not a terrorist. Neither is Cho Ayaba, the Amazonian leader. They are only fighting for the freedom of their people. They are only fighting to free their citizens from the terrorist states of Nigeria and Cameroon. Nigeria is a terrorist state. The terrorism that goes on in Nigeria today is being perpetuated and is being encouraged by the policies of Nigerian leaders currently led by President Tinubu. The programs, the policies they have in place, such as the reintegration and rehabilitation of known terrorists, have increased terrorism in Nigeria. The master plan to Islamize Nigeria has made these reintegrated terrorists to be sent to places like the Biafra land, where they now kill innocent Biafrans who do not wish to be Islamized by the Nigerian state. That is what is going on. The plot by the Nigerian president and the Nigerian government to take away our Prime Minister, His Excellency Simon Ekpa, has contributed to a lot of deaths in Biafra land. The essence of this press conference today is to let the world know and to let Biafrans know that the fight for our freedom, the fight to be free, the fight for us to rule ourselves is continuously being destroyed, being undermined, being plotted against by the Nigerian government, using different avenues to do this. One of the avenues they've used to do this is to plan with the with the Nigerian Foreign Affairs Secretary of State, whom Tinubu recently appointed, to plan to complain with the Finnish embassy in Nigeria to remove our Prime Minister, Simon Ekpa, just weeks before our declaration in Finland. Nigeria orchestrated this. Nigeria planned this. Using the Foreign Affairs Secretary of State, the appointed minister. And they were able to work closely with Finland, with the Finnish authorities, to remove our Prime Minister just weeks before the declaration of our independence in Latin Finland. Their plot is, by removing our Prime Minister, we are not going to be able to declare our independence in Finland. They succeeded in removing our Prime Minister weeks before our declaration. But we, Biafrans, we were resolute. And we were able to still redeclare Biafra. We did that in Finland on November 29th, 2024. Another way, the Nigerian state, who the whole world knows, Nigerian state that have continued to subjugate Biafrans, that have continued to kill Innocent citizens of Biafra have continued to marginalize Biafrans, have continued to destroy and block our self-determination, is by sending their reintegrated terrorists into the Biafra territory to continue to kill our people, kill innocent citizens just for mentioning Biafra, just for our belief, just for fighting for our freedom. I want the world to know Nigeria is a terrorist state, and they have their tentacles spread across the world. Finland has become one of the stooges being used by the Nigerian government and Norway to suppress our rights as individuals, to suppress our freedom, to suppress our self-determination. How else could Finland keep our prime minister for this long while you are carrying out an investigation? We see some racist tendencies in this plot and in this plan to continue to detain a Finnish resident on the claims and on the purported crime that Nigeria state that is known for terrorism and supporting terrorism, killing Christians, mass burying individuals in all parts of Nigeria, but in Borno State, in Zamfara State, in Kaduna State, in Lagos State, in Southeast, in South-South, in Ehamufu, in Azambo, in Onisha, in Aba. There have been mass massacre of innocent citizens by the Nigerian state. Nobody is accounting for this. In most cases, the president makes no speech about that. The ministers working with him makes no speeches about that. The January killings of 2025, where innocent Biafrans were killed in their homes in Biafra territory, in Southeast Nigeria. The Nigerian government has refused, has not said anything about that. The Southeast governors, South-South governors, none of them is talking about that. How can a people continue to keep quiet when their people are being killed and massacred daily? And Finland and Norway, you want to become part of this. You want to become part of this crime to continue to play a role in this system. That is something we will never accept. Another way they try to do this is to break the spirit of Biafrans. Just on the mere lies the Nigerian government has given them. The Nigerian state has given all these fabricated lies against us. So it's not even about Simon Eber. It's not even about Choi Yaba. It is about the plan, the continued plan by the Nigerian government and the ministers that work under them to continue to suppress the freedom of the Biafrans, to continue to kill us, using different avenues they have across the globe to do this. We want to bring it to the attention of the world that any foreign government that is participating in this criminality against the Biafran people or innocent citizens or the Amazonians that have the right to self-determination, that foreign government is part of the crime. From terrorism to fundraising to whatever, to instigation. Why should Finland continue to hold our prime minister, reprimand him all these months when no crime has been established? Yes, you can say that it is the law in Finland to do that. But are you going to do the same thing if that citizen was a white citizen? If racism is not playing a part, There have been documentary about the role Finland has been playing recently to subjugate and to intimidate blacks who are fighting for their freedom. This is one example right here in front of us. Our Prime Minister has committed no crime. Prime Minister Simon Ekpa is not a terrorist. Our Prime Minister has committed no financial crime. All he has done is exactly what millions of Biafrans are doing every single day, which is for us to rule ourselves. We have the freedom, we have the rights to do that. We've conducted a self-referendum where over 50 million Biafrans, both at home and abroad, has voted for us to exit Nigeria. The continuation plot by Finland to continue to listen to Nigeria and be the one investigating on behalf of Nigeria for the reports Nigeria gave to them, and then in that same angle continue to hurt innocent Biafrans is unacceptable. It is totally unacceptable. I've been able and had the opportunity to talk, just like Attorney Levy has said, the Biafran citizens that were held by the Finland government. We are in these individuals who are arrested at the same time with our Prime Minister. We've heard their story. We've heard the intimidation. We've heard how their businesses were affected and destroyed within the period that they were held by the Finland government. And yet, at the end, no crime was established against them. These are innocent Biafrans that the Finland government picked from their different homes, destroyed their businesses by blocking their accounts, blocking their source of income for months. And at the end, no crime was established on these individuals except what was your relationship with Biafra? What were you doing? How do you know Simon Ekpa? How were you donating? How is this a crime? And Finland can fall so low to listen to Nigerian government to continue to perpetuate this heinous crime against Biafrans because of the lies that were sent to Finland and then Norway by extension. One of these individuals almost lost his life because of the way he was locked up inside the van. Finland police used to arrest him. It was so small. The guy was panting for breath. He couldn't breathe until he started banging on the door. And they have to open that to let fresh air come in. So he would have been dead. Why must Finland continue to instigate this suppression and tampering with individuals' basic human right from the instigation they get from the Nigerian government? Why must Finland play a role in this kind of injustice? This is not acceptable. This must stop. The Nigerian terrorist state, the defense chief, Christopher Musa, has publicly come out to tell the world that Nigeria is fighting an asymmetrical war with Biafra, Finland, and Norway, and the world. What is asymmetrical war? That means Nigerian government has continued to kill innocent Biafrans just because they want their freedom. It is on public domain. So Finland cannot claim or say they do not know there is a war, a silent war currently going on between Biafra and Nigeria. Finland cannot claim ignorance of that. The killings going on in Biafra territory, the killings going on in different parts of Nigeria. Finland has that information. Why do you continue to pretend as if you do not know what is going on or what the Nigerian state is capable of doing? How are you facilitating the torture and killing of Biafrans by the Nigerian government? The world knows. The world knows how Christians have been murdered in Nigeria. Biafrans are Christians. And the Nigerian government is not doing anything to protect the lives and properties of innocent individuals. Nigeria is a failed state. Why should Finland and Norway continue to toe the path of going with a failed state when you should be on the path of freedom, justice? Finland, you fought a brutal war to be free today where you are. Knowing what you know and what you did. How and why should you pretend as if you don't know what the Prime Minister Simon Ekpa is doing? Rather, you are listening to the terrorist state of Nigeria and all the lies that they told you.